Oh my, we have a celebrity here, Mr. Jonathan Glantz. I'm a big fan of those books, boy. How you doing there, Glantz? Glantz? Sorry, I saw an opportunity and I couldn't resist it. It doesn't work, but it works for me. 30 made it funny. Okay, so, yep, got about half an hour ago. Thought I might as well do it. He named the turn rather interestingly. How you doing there, Jacob? Good to have you, my friend. You'll get it one day. You'll get it. One day. Yes, so he named the turn. Still stand, laddie. We shall see. We shall see. How you doing there, Wesley? Good to have you, my friend. I'm not doing too badly, my friend. How are you? Watashi no Tomodachi no Wesley-san. That's your name. Best no friend. Now, we were discussing my Self-Infinite Monkey, actually. Regarding, essentially what we're doing is we're preparing a plan to go ahead and bombard Khans with about 8 or so heavy cruisers. The reason why is we have seen a continual build-up over the next Khans. We are somewhat worried that it could be the P-38E model. That's a likelihood. He probably has some right now. Kind of hoping, low-key, that it doesn't actually use them and we can get a bombardment in, but I don't know how likely that is to be able to manage without being detected. Now, I note there that we saw the task force near Luganville. Right. PB and DD around there at Singapore reacted. Well, actually, no, there'll be the patrol boats reacting there, which is interesting. Hey, doing that, Vulcan? Good to have you. Overlay, shit! Oh, shit, I forgot about the overlay. Give me a moment. There we are. Sorry, I forgot about the overlay. I do that every now and then. That's good. Oh, okay. No, we're good, Okay. You didn't miss much anyway. You didn't miss much. There's just a reaction of patrol boats near Singapore. We're all good. Didn't miss anything. Yeah, well, that's it. We need to go ahead and refuel the actual heavy cruisers. That has to be done first and foremost. I was thinking about having, like, the majority of the surface assets pulled away from Tulagi. The reason being is just a lot of fuel needed there. Yeah, and that would be the DD reacting there, I'd wager. Or still the PBs, but probably the DDs considering their reaction range of 6. Right, APD Navakaze. Good, she misses. That would have been really unfortunate because they've literally just come out of Sorabaya yesterday. So I would have not been too happy had one of them been torpedoed already. But no, Namikaze will continue to live another day. Okay, moving into the AM phase here. Now, we do have our Nix over at Woodlark Island currently. Okay, so we see the likely... okay. Yeah, I was hoping that we could actually pick up on those. I should have some submarines nearby, so we may yet have a few... Well, we'll have more chances, ideally. I was kind of hoping to pick up on them. Okay. Oh, we are going to go ahead and actually have a deliberate attack over here at Port Moresby today. I don't expect it to succeed. The reason why I'm doing it is just increase the pressure on him over here at Khans. Well, over here in this general theatre. He is positioning himself for something. We do have our regiment on the way. I don't imagine they're going to come out of this looking too pretty. I don't imagine it's going to have a lot in the way of supply, but I want to, if he has supply, I want to try and burn up some of that. I just want to try and up the pressure on him over here, especially as we do have a division as well, so we're not too far from the end. So by the time the division arrives, these guys may have recovered somewhat, but I don't expect a lot for them. I just want to increase the pressure on them there. No port strike today. We were going to go ahead and do that, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is like have a somewhat odd pattern with the actual sweeps and with the actual port strikes. Did consider it, but I thought, well, he is more than likely going to rotate his actual cap. But what I'd like to do then is just try and make it every odd day, so in theory he will still benefit from the cap rotation, but we might be able to catch some squadron out that has higher fatigue than others or something of that nature, really. Yeah, I know, we're getting coordination. The good news is chunking never moves, so that's pretty handy. We are seeing damage here, but it's just like how much damage. But 179 casualties there. There we are. Number 28 coming in. 36 there, yeah. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at them and look at the damage they're taking. It could be largely superficial, but damage builds up over time. And we don't want to have more ops losses than really we could avoid. There we are. These guys actually do quite a good job there. I think that's because they have the 450 kgs, which will work absolutely fine against the actual airfields. Storms overhead here. Now do. And couple more Sallies here. Yeah, it looks like we have a couple storms over China, actually. Central and Western China there, it seems. We didn't get to fly to Xi'an either. So I'm going to assume it looks like bad weather in that area. Still seeing the ships near Wake. I was hoping that we could have picked up on the APs near Midway. Well, near Midway, near Pearl. Okay. Yeah, ideally we do pick up on the carriers there. We do have good information though. We can see there's actually massive forces there. Ah, we do have subs on that side too. My god, there's a lot of task forces around this area. I'm so happy that we actually have good intelligence down there with the floatplane subs. It does give us a lot of like forewarning about the area. Okay. Interesting. I didn't intend to set up a strike here today, not gonna lie. So I'm a little bit confused of what setting. Must have been a setting that wasn't right. Didn't intend a strike to go in today, but we have 2 G4s going in today. And it's all for the Glasgow. Didn't intend that to happen today. I will have to double check that. I did not intend that. I'm not gonna lie. I did not intend that today. I think we took them off the port strike and then potentially, yeah, did not intend that today. But it looked okay. Interesting thing is we didn't see that much of the wave cap over the actual carriers. So maybe it was actually sweeping today, so maybe that worked out lucky for us. I don't know. We didn't get a torpedo in. Would prefer that they didn't target a light cruiser there, but looks... I don't know. Didn't expect that one to happen, I'm not gonna lie. I will keep him honest. It keeps me honest too, so I'm like, shit, okay. I didn't realise I was that, yeah. Well, I mean, this is it. It looks as if we had a lesser cap there, so if we'd had the actual strike here today... But I honestly did not intend that. Okay, well... it looks like we might have taken a few losses there. It looks like we inflicted some losses as well. I didn't really take a look at it due to expecting to get completely wiped, actually, so we'll take a look at the combat report then afterwards. Right, here we are. Going to continue then. Gotta love those moments where you surprise yourself, really. Yeah. Now, decided to go ahead and actually use the divisions to aid the bombardment as well. I just want to see and take a look at how the supply consumption looks, actually. If it's not too bad, we could possibly go ahead and have the divisions use their own artillery as well. They do tend to have quite a lot of artillery in them. So we'll see on that one. Yeah. It does mean that this will take longer as well, so... You win some, you lose some. Just wait on the tanks down here, really. There is a tank regiment, the one that went ashore at Wake, that had been reformed. It's heading out to Nagasaki. Actually, no, it is in Nagasaki today, so it's been loaded up in Nagasaki today. It's going to then head out to Canton, and then we'll have another tank regiment there. It's not the largest of the tank regiments, but still, tanks are tanks. So we'll get it down there. A little bit of artillery as well is going to go into Canton too, and then eventually make its way up to Chungking. Okay. So we see there 328, 10 destroyed, 28 disabled. Very good. Quite happy about that. Right, continue the bombardment over here, waiting for the tanks to arrive over this way. Yeah, 26 there. I'm just waiting on that engineer regiment. Right, again, if it succeeds, I'd be really happy. I don't expect it to succeed. They don't have a huge amount of AV, but even so, the terrain's not good. I don't know what level of fortification they have, so it could definitely go against us, is all I'm saying here. I kind of expect it to go against us. I kind of expect these units to not look too great like this. There's a small chance we might take it, but we don't have a HQ. But we do have the division that'll be coming down here to take this in the near future. It's just going to hopefully drive up there. Yeah, that's it. Not too surprised. Not too bad though. That could have been far worse there. 2 destroyed, 63 disabled. Not too bad. So he had supply there. Hopefully won't have supply in the future now. Level 3 forts. Okay, good. That gives us the best amount of information we've had there regarding Port Moresby for a while. I know what to expect in that one. It just ups the pressure on him, gives us a good idea of what we're going up against. But yep, when the division arrives, we'll be able to take that. Having the HQ support there would be really good too. But there we go. So, a little bit of supplies regarding striking at the carriers. At least we know where the carriers are. I have to take a look at the losses there. Fuck's sake. Okay. I'm just hoping that the losses weren't too bad. It didn't look like we went up against martlers and we went up against maybe buffaloes or something like that. I didn't really look at it too close because I was like, ah, shit. Okay. Ooh, a new aviation company. Those guys are really useful. We do have a bunch, as I mentioned last time, headed down to Shanghai. So we'll save in a second, but I'm going to take a look over here. Hopefully not too bad. Ah! Okay, that's not too bad. 5-5. Okay. And a Wildcat. Ah, so it was Wildcats in here too. And 1 Betty, 2 Ops Horses. Okay. That's not too bad, actually. 5 for 5. I mean, these are the, I was told, the British Wildcats, essentially. So, essentially, then, I don't know if they are the same as the F1, F3, but yeah, that's not too bad. More or less 1-to-1, but, well, that's a day of production, and obviously I can't say how much production there, but that's not bad. That is going to keep him more honest, and we do see 2 Vindicators go down here to Ops Horses, so that's interesting. I love when a Vindicator goes down, because that is a pretty nasty aircraft. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. It is actually going to keep him on his toes. That worked out okay, actually. I really expected worse, but yeah, for something I didn't intend to happen, that wasn't too bad. You can imagine, had we actually a proper strike, we'd probably been able to get in there, destroy our lives, really. So we'll go ahead and just reopen the game then. But that is going to put him into an interesting situation now, because he's obviously moved in there. It looks as if he did have, obviously he had a cap there, but obviously it looks as if he was sweeping over Luganville. So he's going to have the issue now of that he's had that squadron sweep. Sorry, he's had that squadron long-range cap, perhaps. Yeah, okay, cool. Wow. That would be absolutely amazing to get in there. Moving east. My god, he has a lot of ships around here. Apparently CV there. Yeah. I am gonna... My god, how many ships are in this area? How often do we get a situation like this? I mean, we do have a lot of submarines over here. We'll just try and hit something. The issue is a lot of them don't have that much of the wave endurance. I could potentially bring boats. I kind of regret not bringing boats down. I think what I might go ahead and do is potentially have them try and hit the carriers, really. But that's pretty cool. Oh, so those, yes, these are two new arrivals over here, so they actually do have some pretty good endurance, which is pretty excellent. So they can stay on station far longer for us, which is pretty nice. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at that. We've lost sight of the APs there, that's a shame. Let's take a look at that then. Didn't expect it to happen. Yeah, so he had a really, well, relatively light cap here today. I mean, we aren't entirely certain if we targeted the right task force, but that's not too bad here today. Would have been nice to shoot down more, but we didn't lose that much, so that's looking pretty good. And yeah, very nice. Yeah, he's more than likely planning something. He's attempted to draw a line down here. Oh, yes. We shifted the Dinas up over here to Kira. I was very eager to try and get some information over here out of it. Interestingly, we do have Fleet 4, and he doesn't have anything here, so that's good to know. We'll go back to running reconnaissance over Luganville. I was quite curious. I did expect him to have something here. Kind of surprised he doesn't. Right, 53, 39, 57, wow. I kind of expected him to attack us out here. Yeah, so these guys, not too bad actually. 45, 45, 32. Looks like the 48 took the brunt there. If they'd had more prep, it might have helped them out. But that's okay. It was expected, to be honest. It's going to take them some time to recover there. But we do have an idea now. Well, we have a good idea how strong he is. That's good. Apparently did have enough supply in that to not suffer the supply penalty. Which kind of sucks. But yeah, we do have a 1st regiment arriving over here. May have a Nix run cap over it as well as the zeros, but we'll see. Luckily we do have the zeros over here for that purpose. Okay. Quite a few task forces over here right now. We do have DDs over here, so I may have them act as escort for some of these assets if they need it. Maybe for the AKL AKs as well. Yeah, we'll go ahead and send them an escort. We also do have the OI. Fantastic news. So the OI will be joining her sister ship, the Kitakami, as she heads down here to Talagi. Oh, sorry, no, she's at Rabaul, I should say. I did have her in here, and like, actually, in fairness, it's probably better to keep the Kitakami here while the OI arrives, and then we'll have them work together there. So yeah, moving down the 25th Air Defense Regiment there. What is this Tokyo time? I know, right? How you doing there, mate? Good to have you, my man. Okay. Alright, so we do have a 25th. And where is it? There it is. Okay. And we do have a 1st Air Defense Regiment arriving here at Woodlark. For the time being, both radars will be down here. In the future, I'd like these to all have radars as well, but for the time being, they'll go in down. Kitakami, yeah, Kitakami's been hit by bombs about twice, I think. I think she's been hit by carriers twice, actually, on 2 separate occasions, which is rather amusing, actually. And she's still alive. Which is, can you imagine? I mean, I don't know what the conditions of the Kitakami were, but for the fact of how many torpedo launchers she has, you'd be like, wow, okay, the chance of a secondary explosion there must have been really quite high. But then again, I don't know the manner in which torpedoes were kept. I don't know how likely something like that would happen, but I'd wager it's probably a higher possibility on something like the Kitakami. But no, she's still here. Yes. Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to. And this is it. For the time being, we are having to use the radar, the radars of the air defense units, but yeah, when they come, that's going to be really handy for us. Yes, indeed. Alright, so we'll get them in there. So, some Nix over here can actually... Well, the good news is, like, the base over here at Woodlark is within range of B-17s. If he has P-38s, I don't believe he can escort them to Woodlark. I don't think he has that range. At 16. I think they're... I don't know, 14, something like that. I'd have to double check, but I don't think they have that much range. So it should be okay there. Of course, we do have the B-17s, but the Nix would actually do pretty damn well versus B-17s. And we also do have the B-5N2Ks over here. I'm currently flying in the Naval HQ over here, the 4th Fleet. I was going to use it down here to Kita, but I thought, well, actually, it does give us the ability to use torpedoes over here at Woodlark if needed, but it also helps us with time being. They are easy to port, so I'm quite happy about that. But now, use them over here at Woodlark. They'll come in handy. Until we build Kira up further. But you can see there, 28%, looking good. We have been flying supply into Tupperware, I believe, and Ndeni. I think we had, yes, our second PB got in there quite nicely. It does cost them the fuel there, but getting that free fertilizer supply in there is really a big deal. So you can see we're up to 26% over here. That's looking good. Yeah, so I may have these submarines actually messed up. The issue with the submarines is the endurance, really. This is why we have moved back the majority of our service forces over here. They're going to be heading to Naval. So we're going to get them refueled. Then we're going to go for our operation to go ahead and bombard Cairns if we can manage it, which we'll... we should be okay. We should be able to manage that. There's, of course, anybody may have torpedo bombers or things of that nature, but I don't think there'd be... there's a chance of that, but I don't think it's a terribly high chance. We would be able to give them a cap. I do intend to have the carriers actually cover them. So ideally we can try and remove as a possibility. There's always a possibility that he has P-38s or something of that nature and he uses them in naval attack, which would mean that they would be quite fast aircraft with bombs, but there's not too much we can do about that. And hopefully it gives us a chance to actually shoot them. And miss. Radar would be really handy in our ships, but we don't have that luxury. We just do not. Not yet anyway. Eventually we'll get that. Okay. Yep, she's on her way now. So clear that waypoint. Ah, so we are seeing the submarines over here then. And we did have a reaction there towards them. Wow, these tankers have been fairly fortunate to get by there. Right, so PBs. I do have additional PBs on the way. We do have another PB in here, which would be handy enough. But yeah, we do have additional PBs heading down that way. As well as a number of sub-chasers too. So that would be quite nice. The additional AKs and the AKLs have arrived over here. So what we're going to go ahead and do then, I believe we'll start with Alola? I don't know how you pronounce it. I believe we'll start with this one over here. And then we'll work to the others. Finish off the conquest of the Philippines. I'll be looking good then. I have shifted, and luckily we have not been detected. That's good. So I do have the Issei, the Atago, and the Maya. They are going to be going ahead and sent on a course to bombard Darwin. I expect we may come into conflict with the ships over here, but in fairness, it's one destroyer as far as I can tell. They're not going to be able to manage much. So we'll go for a bombardment at the port. I should have some AKs nearby over here at Lublin. I do have a single one over there, but there are more within the actual area. So I'll be able to draw upon those. I think we have a couple more over here to Kandani. Yep, 2 more over here to Kandani. I just need to get fuel down here. He has been really quite annoying. Very persistent over here at Baxar Strait. We do have fuel over here at Surabaya. We managed to pull out some fuel as well from Balikpapan and have it move over to Surabaya. We do have some native production of fuel on Java itself, if I recall. Yeah, especially over here at Surabaya. So that's fine. We'll have to draw from here for the time being until we can clear up this situation. We are still able to pull fuel out. It's just not ideal. Like, he's committed to this and it is a pain. You can see that it does have the effect that he was looking for. But we'll be able to pull fuel from Surabaya, have it head down here, then I can keep up periodic bombardments. Yeah, you can, if you go ahead and bombard, you can hit ships in port. I think the more ships in port, the more likely that is to happen, but I'm pretty sure that can happen. I think I've seen it happen a couple times, in fact. So yeah, it is very likely. It is very possible. So Martlers are very early wildcards, slightly modified for British service. Okay. Well, that's not too bad then. So we lost 5 zeros for 5 Martler, 2s, and a wildcard. So not too bad. Would have been nice to put a torpedo into him, but we didn't even target a carrier anyway. But we didn't lose the G4s either, so that's not too bad. I think we lost 1 to ops losses though. But you win some, you lose some. Okay, so we have these forces in here. I think I'll leave the 3rd Division here, perhaps. Or the 3rd Division can actually head out somewhere to recover. I may leave the 39th Division here, but as a little bit more AV. The 26th Division is marching out. The headquarters, I may take both of these headquarters, or I may leave one of them, perhaps. They are quite powerful items to have, aren't they? I'll make a choice on that. So wait on the tanks to arrive down here at Kunming. Begin to massive forces down here chunking. Yeah, there you go. You can see that was a lot faster. Oh yeah, the reason why is we do have, let me go ahead and take a look over here then. So land-based, assault by training, sorry, assault by mission. So there's quite a few. Why don't I go ahead and point out here some numbers. So this one over here now, this is in Tokyo, and we have it set up to escort at the time, well, for the time being. But normally that would be training too. But yeah, you can see that, for example, this squadron over here has 103 pilots to their training. So there are quite a lot of pilots training. It's not ideal to lose pilots. We do try to avoid that as much as we can. But we do have pilots being trained. But of course we are limited too, so we can't lose a hell of a lot, but we can replace small losses or mediocre losses. Still, it's not great to lose pilots. But we can train, and we are accelerating that train, which is pretty good. Okay, so they have arrived over here at Patong. That's great news. So we'll go ahead and have the tankettes take out the base there. That seems to be the base to which they are retreating to, so that's pretty good. I think I will wait until tomorrow, and then I will attack over here. Bombard to see what the AV's like. So once I take that base, I'll probably attack there then. We do have a force gun over here to the north. What I'd like to go ahead and do... This one's a little bit more of a pain, really, because it's across the river there. I could send a division to go ahead and meet it out, and then we could force it to surrender, perhaps, and if there's nowhere for it to retreat to. They could in theory retreat to Ankang, but I'm not too sure. But either way, I'm not too sure. I will leave a garrison here at Kyanko, or something of that nature, something to just prevent him from capturing the base there. He hasn't moved these units in quite some time, so I'm not too sure of how worried I need to be. We do have Chengdu, which will obviously be housed. It does require that garrison, but for the most part, we'll have more roads opening up here shortly enough. Which is quite nice. Now, okay, so we do have a choice here. I could send the 10th, so I could send the 104th or the 38th as well to aid down here at Kunming. It would be nice to have control of this road over here. At least it would be nice to control this hex side here. The reason being so he doesn't retreat onto the road, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. I'd rather him retreat somewhere where he's not going to be a problem. Does losing a plane always mean you lose a pilot? It really depends where the plane goes down, in fairness. If we take a look then at the pilots here today, I always forget which one it is under. Which one does it come under again? So remind me, where did you find the one with the pilot losses? I forget where it bloody is. I don't often look at it, to be honest. Here we go. Yeah, so we have 3 missing in action here today. 1 KIA. So 4 then today. That's not too bad, I guess. Well, yeah, I'm quite happy with it. A 5 for 5, not too bad. Would have been better had it been SP numbers, but in fairness, didn't actually intend a strike to go out today. Quite happy to see the Vindicators go down. Up, Wildcat. But that one was up, so I don't think we shot down a Wildcat actually. So I don't think I can count that one. So 5 for 5. Either way, happy enough about that. More would be great. But again, didn't exactly intend that to be a strike. It wasn't that squadron. I nearly transferred in one. How'd that fly from? Oh, it must have been that one there. Okay. That's pretty interesting. Well, I mean, what I was intended to do is this squadron over here. I place them on 10% cap there. The reason being, I wanted to bring down their fatigue here. So to be honest, we do have... yeah, it could be a good green line to go ahead and sweep Luganville next turn then, perhaps. I was intending to actually bring down their fatigue so we could go in with a larger squadron there. That's going to be quite interesting. I mean, we did have that strike out towards the carriers. I mean, we found the Glasgow there, in fairness. So we also not the carrier itself. But he will have to obviously take that into account, so he may lessen the amount of cap over Luganville, but I don't know why he has a cap over Luganville, in fairness. I know it might be to obviously prevent damage to the actual base itself, but it's like, well, why be so persistent about it? I do imagine that we are going to see the other carriers soon enough, so I do need to be quite sparing in how much strength we throw out that way. I do expect that there might be like another carrier group or something of this nature. Like, I fully expect something to come up through the Coral Sea over here. Now, we do have detection over here at Tagla. Unfortunately, 3 of them are down for the count for the time being. They do need to repair. But I do expect something to happen over this way. We'd be able to see it, ideally, but I do expect it to happen mostly because he can avoid, obviously, the range of Tudlagi. You know what I mean? I can expect something to happen there, especially with the build-up over here it can't. So far, he's been reluctant to throw the B-17s out there, so I'm really, really happy about that. If he can give us the time to actually gain the division over here at Buna, at the HQ, I'd be very, very thankful of that one, really. Now, we did see the CV apparently over here. That has since disappeared on us. I wonder where that's gone. Might have gone back into port, to be honest. It was probably headed out. We can't get in there too close because obviously it does have that detection. Alright, we do have the PPs are heading down that way. But no, all in all, okay turn, really. Again, I really, really want to try and get into that task force there. That has a lot of APs. It is actually somewhat concerning. I would assume that those were the APs that were already in the area. I mean, so we can try and get a hit into Aquitania, that'd be great again. But I'm not entirely sure. The interesting thing is, though, if he's heading towards Vavaru, that's really awesome. Yeah, we'll try and get into these targets here. Yeah, you can see low endurance there. We just need to get more fuel down to the area. Luckily, we'll be able to reduce the amount of fuel that we're actually using by having these guys head over here. It will drain fuel at Rabal, but we do have another shipment coming in shortly enough. We just need to keep it pretty continuous. There's a pretty high demand for fuel in that area. Yes, we have another load there, 34k coming in. Additional submarines arriving in the area. They're heading out here to lay a mine field at Rabal. Though, we don't have to do that. Actually, did I set them to... Oh, they are set to lay mines. Might change their mind on that one. I bet there's troops in those APs. We really do not have a lot of information, do we? That's the problem. He hasn't really built these ones up. I feel like I've said those words before in another time, but he hasn't really built these up that much. He's definitely built up Vavaru. I don't know. It's an interesting one, really. But the fact there's apparently a tanker in there as well. My god. I'm just glad that we do have the float planes there. It definitely gives us a lot of, well, forewarning. Okay. So wait on the 110th over here. So they will be in chunking. Actually, not tomorrow, the day after they'll be in chunking. Right, so we do have the 3 tank regiments over here. They're heading into Chungking 2. 10th tank regiment there, 12th tank regiment. There is this tank regiment over here, the 23rd. That's going to take some time, but in fairness, they probably will have the time to get over here to Chungking. Right. Okay, so in fact what we'll do then is they're going to go ahead and continue up north to Chungking. And the reason being, while this is a major road, it would still take a couple days. I think I'll just send the tank regiments down here to Kunming. Obviously, again, with this being a major road, they'll make good time back. We don't need a whole bunch more over here at Kunming. I'd also really like to take control of that hex site too. Additional tanks there. Okay. Then we should have a tank regiment at sea. Yeah, so 15th Tank Regiment there, 23rd Medium Artillery, and then 17th Army heading in there too. Right, so those are additional APs here. So we do have one element of the 21st Division heading out there, and a second one. So they're going to go ahead and head out to Guam, and they're heading to Saipan. The 3rd Regiment probably will head to Pagan, perhaps. Maybe Tinian. Maybe Rota. Might be better to keep them closer together, really. But eventually we'll have another division probably to look after this area. Right, now if I take a look over here then at Saipan. Yeah, there we are. This is good. Yeah, so these guys over here then, these were the ones that we couldn't unload at Marcus due to actual insufficiency of the port there to handle them. So the good news is we do have a second one underway over here then. So we'll have the 4 20cm coastal defense guns there at Saipan, and then we do have the rest of the weight coastal defense guns over here at Marcus, which are quite nice. It won't stop anything serious, but it will cause delays and it will hopefully cause casualties. We did see a number of APs heading out here to Midway. We know that May is when he does gain a lot of additional troops. So I feel like something is going to be coming. It does feel like that way. It is interesting to see the APs in the south are heading back towards Vavo. Maybe that signals that, well, he may not be placing additional troops down there in the south. He may in fact be changing tact, and he may be in fact sending troops somewhere in the Pacific. Maybe in the Central Pacific, maybe in the Northern Pacific. We did see AKs out here. We definitely... Well, we sank the Chattanooga City, wasn't it? That was an AK over this way. We did see there were additional ones too. I mean, I'm quite happy that we do have a bit of eye over here at Kobe. A lot of the reasoning for that is why it's really nice to not have to fuel them out there on the periphery, really. It also gives us a bit of a trump card if he does come into towards Japan or something in the Marianas. It's something unexpected, ideally. And again, not using that fuel is really quite nice. Very, very nice. Nice, I'm front. Try to remember where that base is now. I'll look for that later on. Oh, there it is. We have been seeing a lot of activity there, which makes a lot of sense. Again, I was hoping that we would have picked up on those APs. Now we do have our subs over here. Well, actually, really, okay, that's interesting. Every other time we've come close to Midway, we have been detected before, so that's quite interesting. I will be quite intrigued then, if there is no detection of a Midway, on the subs at Midway. I'd be intrigued to see what's happened there. We may, of course, just be looking. I think it's probably more a matter of luck, to be honest. Yes, I was thinking about having the air defense. Well, so the air HQ over here. I was thinking about having that moved over here to Alien Lab. It is pretty useful over here at Royal Mervo. The reason being for that sweet aviation support, to be honest. So I may have them moved to Alien Lab in the future. For now, they work where they are, but having them at Alien Lab is going to be the ultimate destination. And the reason being that, obviously, they have a command radius of 4, so they allow torpedo usage within 4 hexes, so it does bring quite a few bases into... Well, not that base there, unfortunately. It does bring a number of other bases then into torpedo range. Well, command range. Yeah. Pretty handy. I do want to go ahead and actually shift out some of these Oscars, to be honest. I think we can probably manage it. We do have 41 zeros there. We do have another squadron of zeros over here, another 45. Not that that's going to be enough. We'll leave the Tojos, and eventually we will have more Tojos, which would be great, but for now we do not. But I just feel like we could probably make better usage of those Oscars elsewhere. Can all ships use the Bender depth charges with time, or will most of them just... well, I'm not too sure, actually. I'm not too sure. I imagine that upgrades will ultimately improve the depth charges, but it may not. It depends really on the upgrade. I'm not terribly familiar with the upgrades in all fairness. Okay. Right, so we do have a division's margin there. That'll take time. I do have a 2nd Tank Regiment over here. I'd have to double check. I'm not too sure if just simply crossing will take control of that hex side. Because it is quite tempting to take control of that hex side by having a tank regiment cross the river. Obviously, they'd probably be highly damaged or possibly destroyed, but it would be nice to take control of that hex side. But in fairness, we can manage the same by just sitting on the hex outside it. I did speak to... well, I asked Andy Mack regarding... So, I feel like we might be able to use the tanks at chunking to potentially drain supply. Andy says it'd be rough, but it could work. So I'm tempted to give it a try. They definitely do seem a lot easier to replace than troops. Obviously don't want to lose a lot of them though. So I will try to mass the actual armor before we do something of that nature really. Let's see. So 9.4. It wouldn't be ideal to lose a lot, but I think we can afford to try it. Now it's still looking pretty good. It is a little bit late here, so I'm not going to drag it on too much longer. Heck yeah, that's interesting. Well, I say that, and those Oscars may come in handy, actually. Yeah, I didn't notice that, so he does have 10 out of 10 detection on Magway here today. That's interesting, he might be feeling a little bit feisty. Okay, the Oscars can stay for the time being then. We are fortunate in that we do have the radar. At least that'll give us some actual aid out there. Yeah. But it depends. I mean, he'll see that we do have quite the number of fighters over here. So it depends on how willing he is to tangle that, to be honest. And of course, we also do have the other fighters over here that he's not aware of. So that's quite nice. But yeah, okay, they can stay for the time being. It would be great if we could actually get an opportunity to tangle with him, really. It would be very interesting. I don't know what he would actually have. I've got to assume that he probably has some B-17s out of Calcutta. He could, of course, have other aircraft, but that'd be quite the large fight there, really. It would be quite the large fight. So we'll double-check on our cap over there at Magway. Obviously, double-check on the base nearby, too. We are able to actually layer our cap. We'd have radar as well, so that gives some prior warning, which would help a lot, to be honest. We do have a little bit of AA too, like we do have the 34th Fuel AA Battalion, but, well actually no, I was about to dock them, but the 75s are not bad. They're not bad, it's just nowhere near enough flak. We have been fortifying the base as well, so we are up to size 3. I decided to go ahead and continue with the enlargement of the base, just to make it harder to knock out. So yeah, that's at least something on our side. Additional torpedo boats have arrived over there. There's a strong part of me that's like, okay, I'd like to pull back the surface ships from Port Blair, but it's too hard to leave a base like that undefended in such a way. The reason why I'd pull out is it's hard to know what the threat is right now. And we do have a threat of obviously a large amount of like surface ships, but I think if we're able to have sufficient amount of air power, we may be able to strike at them before it comes in close, and then I'd like to set up additional... I'd like to backfill a little bit so we can have additional strike capacity from these sort of bases out here, really. We'll see. As far as I can tell, we don't have a carrier threat to worry about right now. We can't be exactly certain. We did see Illustrious, we did see Indomitable, and Implacable, was it? In this area, so... Well, Illustrious is probably in here somewhere. More than likely, she's in that area. Okay, so we continue our build-up over here at Lunga. Do need to get a bit more supply into London actually, so I may have something transfer over that way. Yeah, well, there's quite a few Chinese at chunking. They do have the Times 2 terrain, which admittedly isn't as bad as the mountain, but they do have a high level of fortifications. I'd be eager to really use the tanks to just try and draw out supply from the enemy, really. I asked Andy Mack about the magic supply. He was like... As far as he remembers, when troops are actually in the Hex, that supply stops. But it says it was 10 years ago since he looked at things like that, so he could be wrong, so I don't know. I'm going to go with the assumption that the supply will not stop. So obviously being able to drain supply would be quite nice, actually. We'd have to see how the damage was really against us. Okay. I'm feeling a little bit tired, so we'll wrap this up here in a second and get working on it tomorrow then. So we'll take a look then at the R&D. Yeah, the good work continues, so we'll have an advancement tomorrow then, which should be excellent. Future replacement for the B5N2. Is getting closer, but they don't take that long to arrive anyway. That's more for the production, I'd imagine. Yeah, Tojo. Really want the Tojos. I mean, obviously this is more for the production as well, but I really want the Tojos. Helens are just ticking on by. Oh shit! Oh wow, nice. Haha. We do have an 8. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Oh, I am happy about that. Nice. I do love it every time we get advancements over here. We did place a lot into the key 83, so I'm really hoping it does work out. But that's good. I'm quite happy about that. That can definitely continue. Continue, please. We need that. But yeah, quite happy. Okay. Now, we do have 11 G3M3s. The production rates on these guys have been kind of odd, but I do wager that's down to the engine more than anything else. We haven't produced Oscars in quite a long time, actually. The reason being... well, we do have the actual production capacity there. As to whether we'd change that to something else, probably not, because it does cost you quite a bit of supply. So we may change it in the future to when we have like a better model. But for now, it's okay to keep around. The reason why we don't have it on is due to the fact that the Oscar shares the same engine as the Zero. I do believe the HA-35. So it's like, well, what do you want? Do you want more Oscars or do you want more Zeros? You could potentially have both if you built up enough engines, but yeah, we don't have that many engines being produced. Nicks are looking good, 9 more Vanderpool. We're trying to keep the Nick something of an unknown for the time being. Each day does allow us to actually continue to build them up, which is quite nice, but it would be nice to be able to unveil them in mass numbers. We do have them at Woodlar, because obviously they're going to be quite helpful in this area as we do move towards the troops over here to Buna, but also towards the bombardment plan over here to Khans. But they are able to transfer over here to Talagi or Lungad or something of that nature and perform cap, which would be excellent. But it's also handy to actually have P5 and 2Ks out here. Now, 7 isn't the greatest range, but you can imagine it is going to provide something. When it's well, essentially backfilling the Solomon Sea. We are able to have an airfield over here pretty soon. You can see that we are at 95. We've stopped at 95. The reason why we stopped at 95 is so we can essentially keep the work hidden for the time being. If we build it up, it may become a target, so I'm hoping to try and avoid that. But we're looking pretty good. Now, there might have been a number of things that have been missing the turn, because I'm a bit tired here at the moment, but we're looking pretty good so far. Things are definitely ticking on by. It was quite cool to see the strike on the carriers, actually. And, yeah, I didn't expect too much out there at Port Moresby. And it actually came off better than I expected, to be honest. I expected more destroyed than disabled, and we instead got quite a few disabled, but not much in the way destroyed. So, not too bad. We'll have you supply there, so that's good news for us. Nice, they're looking pretty good. Let's take a look. We're only a few days now away from the Yamato, which is cool. For the first time ever getting her properly. Yeah, just 15 days away. I don't imagine she'll leave the Sea of Japan. I mean, the good news is she can just stick with Kitapatai for the time being, really. It's a nice matchup. And what's nice is that they can just stay in Japan, they can stay in port and not use fuel. Eventually we will find a use for her, but for the time being, when I don't need her out there, then that's fine by me. So, until next time, thank you for watching there, ladies and gents. Hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll go for return tomorrow. Hopefully get it back sooner or later, but probably not too long. So until next time, thank you for watching. I'm SI. Have a great evening. You've been a great audience, and I hope to see you at the next show. Ja, mata. I don't know. Suyobi, more than likely. Maybe Mokoyobi. Mokoyobi, maybe. I don't know. Kinyobi if you're unlucky. We'll see. Until next time. Goodbye for now. Adios.